Hello, and welcome to Moments in History. I'm Linda Shenton-Matchett, author, speaker, and history geek. While researching my stories, I unearth tons of intriguing historical information that does not end up in my books. So I've created this channel to share these tidbits with you. I appreciate you stopping by to watch. America has always been a charitable nation, taking care of her own and those in other countries. This was evidenced significantly during World War II, even before the country entered the conflict. Ties between the U.S. and England strengthened in the years following the American Civil War, in part because of the number of wealthy socialites who married into British families during the late 1800s and early 1900s. The two countries were now related by more than just common goals, so when Britain's people began to suffer, U.S. women came to their aid. Founded in 1941 and headquartered in New York City, and similar to how the United Service Organization operated, the British War Relief Society managed the activities of several other charitable associations such as, but by no means all, American Ambulances in Britain, the American Committee for Air Raid Relief, American Hospital in Britain, British American Ambulance Corps, and the British Hospital Association. BWRS acted as the administrative hub and central receiving depot for items donated from the other charities, which were then distributed to its affiliates. One of those associations absorbed under the BWRS umbrella was Bundles for Britain, started in 1940 by Natalie Wales Latham. Born in Cohasset, Massachusetts in 1909, she was the daughter of Nathaniel B. Wales, a Bostonian engineer who helped develop the refrigerator, and was also a distant relation of Sir Matthew Hale, England's Lord Chief Justice, from 1671 to 1676. When Natalie was 11, her parents separated and her mother took her and her brother, Nathaniel Jr., to Bermuda. 3 years later, Mrs. Wales returned to the U.S. with the children, obtained a divorce, and the following year married Dr. John Middleton, an eye specialist. Natalie was then sent to the exclusive Spence School on New York's Upper East Side. One story tells about how at age 16, on a pleasure cruise up the Hudson in the company of Queen Marie of Romania and her children, Princess Ileana and Prince Nicholas, Natalie missed her chance to become a royal. "I snagged Nicholas in a corner and got his ring off him," she recalled. "Unfortunately, I gave it back." She attended Columbia University, where she studied short story writing, astronomy, mathematics, French, and Greek, and then came out as a debutante the following year in 1928. Married and divorced twice during the next 10 years, she then headed to Bermuda in 1939. She said of her time there, "I never had time to think before, and while I was there, I began to think of Britain." After listening to Neville Chamberlain's ultimatum to Hitler in September 1939, Natalie returned to the U.S. to visit the British Consul General in New York, Godfrey Haggard, which resulted in a telegram to Clementine Churchill and the beginnings of Bundles for Britain. Mrs. Churchill replied that there was a desperate need for warm sea boot socks for Royal Navy sailors serving on the minesweepers. The energetic Mrs. Latham gathered her like-minded friends, and following strict Navy specifications about the wool and needles to be employed, began furiously knitting. The knitting bee soon caught the imagination of Anglophiles across the U.S., and within a year of the campaign, Bundles for Britain was employing 900,000 knitters and support staff, all buying wool from the proceeds of cake and jam sales and clicking their needles for Britain. Into every garment was sewn from your American friends. Before long, Mrs. Churchill was sending fresh ideas, such as warm clothing for the troops rescued from Dunkirk and first aid supplies for victims of the Blitz. Mrs. Latham responded to the challenge. On 71 ships, only 2 of which were sunk by U-boats, she sent across the Atlantic 40,000 sleeveless sweaters, 10,000 sweaters with sleeves, 30,000 scarves, 20,000 pairs of wristlets and mittens, 3,000 pairs of gloves, 18,000 pairs of sea boot stockings, 50,000 pairs of socks, 2,000 jerseys, 8,000 caps, 300 afghans, which are crocheted woolly blankets for those of you who don't know, as well as 400,000 civilian garments, 24 ambulances, 59 mobile canteens, 2 oxygen tents, 186 hospital beds, 2,500 cots, 500 sleeping bags, 64 transfusion sets, 21 x-ray machines, 223 bales of shoes, 5,000 children's overcoats, 24 portable surgical kits, and more than 200 cases of surgical instruments. In all, the goods were worth $1.5 million, which is approximately $240 million in today's money. On top of which, another $1 million of cash was given, which equates to $16 million today. Raising money for Britain became a fashionable thing to do, and even more so after First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt spoke at a fundraiser. Queen Elizabeth, later the Queen Mother, offered for auction a cigarette case made of rubies, diamonds, and sapphires, and a piece of shrapnel from the bomb that hit Buckingham Palace. Not all the donations came from the rich. One story related how a group of South Carolina children raised $70 with a watermelon eating contest. Churches around the country held special collections, and bank depositors in one Rochester, Minnesota bank donated the odd cents left in their accounts at the end of the month. Mrs. Latham was recognized for this big wartime effort, being invested by King George VI as an honorary Commander of the Order of the British Empire in 1946, the first non-British subject to receive this honor. The organization had an official song titled Thumbs Up, written by Mo Jaffe, Jack O'Brien, and Bert Lee, and was used as the theme and movie title for a 1943 film, probably doing its bit to add money to the coffers of Bundles for Britain as well. Ultimately married 4 times, Natalie's last husband was Wing Commander Lord Malcolm Avondale Douglas Hamilton, OBE, DFC, and the Conservative MP for Iverness, and brother of the Duke of Hamilton. He actually gave up his parliamentary seat, and after a time of living between Scotland and England, the couple moved to New York in 1953. Widowed in 1964, Natalie passed away in Andover, New Jersey in 2013 at the age of 103. I hope you've enjoyed today's moment in history. If you'd like to learn even more history, please stop by my blog that's found on my website at www.lindashentonmatchett.com. Please consider subscribing to the channel and click the bell icon to receive notifications of new episodes that generally release on the 2nd and 4th Fridays of each month. You now have the opportunity to partner with me in my author journey through Patreon, and you may receive exclusive benefits not available anywhere else. Depending on the level of support you choose, you'll get to read along as I write, obtain advanced copies of ebooks or signed paperbacks, and attend live monthly chats. You might even get to name a character. So head on over to my page, found at patreon.com/Linda Shenton Matchett for more information. That's patreon.com/Linda Shenton Matchett. Thanks for watching, and have a great rest of your day.